It's ConnectiCon 2015. We're here. It's Being a Big Podcast, broadcasting live, relatively live. Well, you're on tape, but it's live to me. We're here. As you can see, there's tons of stuff going on. We're going to try to get some interviews with some of the guests, some of the artists, some of the other people that are going to be here, some cosplayers possibly. There's a lot of cool cosplay going on today. I've already seen a Groot. I saw a huge monkey. That was awesome. So stay tuned for more coming up here on the Being a Big Podcast. And we're here at the A+D Duct Tape booth here at ConnectiCon. We're here with the founder of A+D Duct Tape. So tell us a bit about what you guys got going on this year.
All right, it's very nice to see you guys again. We're here again with more duct tape stuff. And ConnectiCon's been my first convention. This is my 5th year here at ConnectiCon, and every year it's just more and more fun. I love the celebrities and I love the people and the cosplay. It's a lot of fun, and I also get to run my business too.
So this year, I don't know, can't remember if you had them last year, but you have duct tape flowers, which Brian was asking about before we started the interview. Tell us what about the duct tape flowers, how those came about.
I have had the duct tape flowers for a while, but recently I've been focusing on newer color patterns. I've been putting a little bit more effort into playing around, seeing what works, color theory and all that fun stuff. So these flowers, they're also pens too. And the nice thing about these pens is that the ink changes out at the bottom. So if you want a different color or if the ink runs out, then you can actually change it out. So that's one of the little details that I put into everything that I have here.
So how long does it take to do each individual flower?
Let's just say I'm a very busy person. I put a lot of time into it, and I also consume obscene amounts of online content. I marathon through the entirety of Star Trek in about 3 months, except for the animated series. Wow. I watch Voyager, Deep Space Nine, The Next Generation, and the original series, and Enterprise too. That was fun.
I know there's a bunch of guys that do a D&D live video cast that you might want to check out and watch.
Really? I wonder who that is.
I don't know who it could be. But we have one of your customers, and this has one of your bags.
This is my booth buddy over here.
Oh, okay. Also a client.
Yes.
Not only the president, also a client.
Very nice.
So how much do you enjoy your bag?
I love it. It's adorable, and it fits my phone and my water and my snacks in here, so I can just kind of carry it around and still show it off and promote.
The purses were actually a thing that I had since my very first convention. They are my strongest item, like physically strongest, because the handles alone are 5 layers of duct tape, and they physically wrap all the way around the purse, so it's wicked durable. I actually tried to break one once by filling it with college textbooks and jerking it. My shoulder gave out before the purse did.
Wow, that's a strength test right there.
Strong purses here.
Well, if I never need a duct tape purse, I know where to go. So check out the A+D Duct Tape online at
Facebook.com/A+D Duct Tape.
There you go. Check it out. We'll be back with more here on the Being a Big Podcast in just a bit. It's the Being a Big Podcast. We're here at ConnectiCon, and we've run into another one of the Enfield podcasts. It's the guys from Secret Identity. It's Matt. It's Brian. How's it going, guys?
We are doing well. How are you?
Not too bad. I'm just realizing that you guys have the same initials as we do for our show. You're B&M. We're B&M.
Oh, wow. I didn't even realize that.
I didn't realize that either, but I am truly an Enfield guy because I grew up in Enfield.
And I used to shop in Enfield as I was an East Windsor kid. So I would go to the mall.
Connection too.
Not to mention when growing up in East Windsor, which was a small town, and we had to go pick up girls, it always had to be in Enfield because the girls we were in East Windsor with
were cows.
Well, no, they already dated us by high school.
Yeah, okay.
They already knew our shtick.
Yeah. I didn't mean like they were cows, but like actual cows in East
We had
Windsor.
those. We did have those. We had cows.
Yeah, it's like Suffield. Everyone comes from Suffield to Enfield to not look at cows.
Yep, that could be.
Well, we had a mall.
You had a mall.
So
We used to have a mall.
Yeah, exactly. Back then, when the mall was an actual mall and not just the dried out husk of what once used to be a mall.
Yes.
Oh, you mean Target's hallway?
Yes. Yeah. I always equate it to like the scene, like the Back to the Future 2. Like that's what the mall would look like in Back to the Future 2 would be the Enfield Mall.
Yeah, it's sad. I mean, those are some great times in that
There was
mall,
a time
too.
where it was hopping.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah,
Orange
they had-
Julius. And
Yeah, they had fountains.
And you'd get yelled at if you were
Yeah.
sitting there by the man. The man would yell yell at you.
Move it along.
Move it along, kid.
Get away from the fountain.
Yeah.
I missed the fountains.
Yeah.
Yep.
So anyways, the reason why we're really here, you guys have a show, and you guys also write books, which is way more advanced than us because I can barely read books. But of course you have Comicopolis, you have the companion book for Doctor Who.
The unofficial Doctor Who
Yes.
companion.
And now you have Monkey See, Sea Monkey.
Monkey See, Sea Monkey, the tale of sea monkeys growing up, taking over the world of 1979.
Wow, that was the year I was born.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that one. Did you see my softball picture?
I did.
How many did steal for sea monkeys?
Yes, that's about
Who
it.
grew up to be awesome softball players.
Yeah.
They grew up to realize their dreams of taking over the world.
The tagline I put on the cover is, "It's like World of Worlds, but not as good."
There you go. That's sell the book right there.
Advertising.
That's it. That's it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Not only does Matt write books, you also write books as well, Brian. You have the Guide to Podcasting, which I'm going to buy so I know how to do the show correctly.
I have the, we call it Making Ear Candy because we have this running joke that our show is solid gold ear candy, even though that's more of an ironic. That's not truth in advertising. But yeah, I wrote a podcasting book a few years ago because I was talking to a lot of people online and answering a lot of emails about what we've done and what worked for us and sort of getting guest interviews and all that kind of stuff. And so I started to see these 2,000 word emails that I was putting together, and I said, you know what, why don't I take some of that stuff and just kind of walk down the list of, this is what I wish that someone would have sat down with us and told us when we first started doing Secret Identity, because in 2006, podcasting, it wasn't new, but it was still the Wild West kind of scenario. There wasn't a ton of comic podcasts, there wasn't a ton of podcasts, and so it was trial by fire. You know, we learned everything that we did just by doing it and making mistakes and figuring it out along the way, so that's kind of what the book is. So that's the book that I bring to shows like this. I also write horror novels, and when I go to horror shows or sci-fi conventions and things like that, I'll bring those with me. But I write a series that is called the Parted Veil series, and it's very Lovecraftian and ties into Robert Chambers and The King in Yellow and stuff like that. So yeah, we both get to write, and I think that coming to shows for us now is a combination of promoting the podcast, doing interviews with guests, and also trying to showcase some of our work. So it's become this sort of all-around experience for us, which is a lot of fun.
It can be a lot of work because you kind of start splitting your time between, well, I got to talk about the podcast because the podcast for us still is that's the vehicle that pushes everything. And then you want to push your books, and then you've got to go run and try to get interviews, and you're doing all this stuff.
And host panels.
And host panels, and it can be insane and crazy, but it's still, why would you want to do anything else but?
And then sometimes you got to fit calisthenics in for softball.
Oh, we got to get
a lot of stuff. You got to get all that stuff in.
The healthy eating.
Yeah, you got to get your lettuce and celery sticks out.
Oh, absolutely.
That's
like
good.
Gummy bears and Mountain Dew before a game.
But for me, like the interview piece is still something that I feel like is my favorite part of the show, because we've been fortunate now enough to have been doing it for enough years where many of the names on our sort of bucket list have been crossed off.
Yeah.
So now when we go to shows, we're trying to really meet with people who are trying to get the word out about their work, a lot of indie creators and things like that, and then we sort of have this small list of creators that we've never had on, but we really want to have on. Like last year we got to meet with Mark Wade finally, and he was someone who for years and years and years we just kept missing. Yeah. So it's stuff like that. So it's nice to sort of look back now and see that this is the list of creators that we've gotten to speak to and all these really cool people, and the interview piece is really the best part of what we do because it's also how we made all of our friends. Yeah. Everybody that we know now in the industry is because we met them through the podcast. We interviewed them, or they reached out to us because they were putting out a book when they were an independent writer, and now they're hugely successful. And the cool thing about a lot of the comic people is that unlike many other genres, comic people are almost universally cool. Like I can count on a couple of fingers the amount of people over the years that we have met with that have not been awesome. So most of the comic people are awesome, and they never forget anybody. Yeah. So if you've interviewed them and 10 years later they're doing the biggest book in the world, they'll still let you interview them when you come to the next show, because that's the way comic people are, and I love that about the creators that we've sort of seen, and it's fun to be a part of that community.
Yeah, we find it pretty cool. We go around, some people still grab us like, hey guys, and I'm like, oh, hi.
Right.
Guy I talked to 3 years ago, I don't remember your name.
I mean, I met Joe Kelly. I met Joe Kelly a lot of years ago, but way before we started doing the podcast. Then when we started doing the podcast, he was a very early interview, just a great guy. Then it's now evolved into, we were at the Special Edition NYC a few months ago, or fill in the blank of whenever you're posting this interview. And he came right up to the table and just started hanging out with Brian and I. And you know, as much as we are not in awe of him because he's just a great guy and we consider him a friend, we're still in such awe of the guy because of everything he does, and he still loves to talk to us. Yeah. And he's just the Ben 10 money hasn't changed this guy at all.
Yeah. No, I always find it interesting. I always it's blows me away that people come up to us even and be like, "Hey guys, how you doing?" And we're like, "Hi." Yeah. You know our names.
You still want to talk to us?
You know us?
I think for and especially being like an indie author now, I know that when a podcaster or a blog or whoever takes the time to not only do an interview with you, but also help promote your work, that's invaluable. Yeah. So I think for a lot of the creators that we've spoken to over the years, they understand that that's a symbiotic relationship. They're helping us with our show because they're coming on and giving up their time, and we're helping them spread the word about what they're doing. And I think that more so than a lot of other sort of industries, comics people get that. And that's what makes it fun to do a comics podcast, is because comics people get that. Yeah. You know?
So Secret Identity is out there. Where do people go to find it?
You can go to the website, www.secretidentitypodcast.com. My regular website for my own stuff is www.mattcan'tspell.com. And you can check me out on Facebook. We're pushing all the time on Facebook. Brian's got his Twitter.
Yep, I'm on Twitter, twitter.com/cbrianwright, and I also have my own blog, cbrianwright.com. So all of my writing stuff, the horror stuff, the webcomic stuff I do, all of that you can find through cbrianwright.com.
So there you go. That's all you need to know about everything Secret Identity. We'll be back with more here in the Being a Big podcast. And we're here at the ConnectiCon, and we've ran into Bill Farmer, Disney legend. Thanks so much for the time. So I was looking at this and I saw Foghorn Leghorn, that's why I came over, and I saw Sylvester the Cat, two of my favorite cartoon characters of all time. So how did you get involved in doing the voice acting?
Well, I started doing voice acting I've been doing voices since I was a little kid. And my friends would always put me up to going through Burger King and stuff and do a weird voice, and I'd like a Whopper with cheese, and Arnold the Pig would like a Coke, and they'd look out, my friends would laugh. So it kind of turned into a career. I did stand up for about 5 years, then came out to Hollywood, and of course, Goofy was my very first animated character audition. And I got that back in January of '87, and have been doing that voice ever since. And then over the years, been adding to it. Sylvester, and Yosemite Sam and Foghorn Leghorn in the movie Space Jam, and some video games, Bugs and Daffy and Robot Chicken, some stuff like that, and just been working ever since.
So as we were looking through your table and you were telling us beforehand, you're on the new Disney Mickey Mouse show, and you're doing Goofy. Are you doing all the Goofy characters for that, or just Goofy by himself?
No, I did Goofy, and in this one, Goofy's grandma, which is the name of the cartoon, and I won an Annie Award in January for that. I'm very honored that. The only other acting award went to Ben Kingsley, so it's like Goofy and Gandhi together. We should do a cartoon, together again, Goofy and Gandhi.
So also, I was looking at the table and I saw you were in RoboCop, which I didn't even know. Now that's awesome, because that's one of my favorite movies and one of my buddy's favorite movies. So what was that like? Was that your first live action acting gig?
Yeah, RoboCop was my first acting in a big feature film. That I lived in Dallas, and it was shot in Dallas. That was actually, that scene right there was 2:30 in the morning. It was August. It was about 95 degrees, and poor Peter Weller was just dying in the RoboCop outfit. They'd blow air up his sleeve after every take. And after that, I figured, waiting around on the set for 8 hours and stuff, maybe I ought to do animation. It's easier. It's in air-conditioned rooms, and you go in, you do your lines, and you leave.
So if people are looking to find you now, what stuff are you working on now? I see 7D, which is out there. What other stuff do you got going on?
Well, we have 7D. I've got to go back to Los Angeles, and on next week I'm doing at least 3 jobs. I'm doing a Christmas thing with Goofy. I don't even know what yet. A 7D, and I think next week I got a Mickey Mouse short, and we're starting a new series for the 5 and under kids called Mickey's Hometown Racers, and it's kind of a follow-up in the footsteps of Mickey Mouse Clubhouse for the little kids. Okay. And I don't even I just got my script, and I haven't even read it yet, so I don't even know what it's about.
No idea. Well, that's awesome. So thank you for the time. We appreciate it. Make sure to check out 7D and all the other new stuff coming out. And thank you so much for the time. And we'll be back with more here on the Being Big podcast in just a bit. It's the Being Big podcast, and we're here at ConnectiCon, and we've come across awesome.
Thank you for having me.
Everyone that watches or listens to the Being Big podcast knows I am a huge Chuck fan, and this is a huge honor for me, I gotta say.
I appreciate it. It's a big honor
was
for
so
me.
disappointed when that show got canceled.
Well, I gotta tell you, it's like, you know, all good things have to come to an end, but I thought that every year we didn't know if we were going to come back.
Yeah.
So to get 5 seasons was truly a blessing at the end of the day. But I feel like canceled still kind of a tough word because it's one of those things. It kind of just went away. It went away, but then it was like when the timing's right, I think there'll be more.
Yeah, it almost like went like the Community way, where it kind of just like, well, Community got on Yahoo screen, but you guys kind of just like disappeared, and I was sad, and I bought Haagen-Dazs, and I got through it. But I'm fine now. I've gotten through the 5-6 stages or whatever it is.
I'm through it as well, and then now there's hope. There's always hope for more, though.
There is. There is. So, not only were you on Chuck, as my mom would know, you were on Passions.
Yes.
And when I was going through the thing and saying I was going to be here, and I was going through the pictures, and she saw you, she's like, the guy from Passions. And I'm like,
so
I don't know what that is, Mom, but okay.
Old Hank Bennett, yeah. The first day on Passions, I had to save a house from sinking into hell while gargoyles were attacking me. So that was my introduction to really being on TV, and there's a lot of fans around here that come up to me and are bringing out the old Passions days, and you know, I think it had little elements of Dark Shadows to it. So people really loved that, and it lasted 9 years. I was only on it for 3, and then I moved on to do some other stuff. But it's cool how that still resonates with fans.
So is that your very first television gig?
That was my very first like series regular gig, where I had a real character in a real home for a few years. Otherwise, I was just bouncing around commercials and doing stuff like that.
So, as the people who aren't here would know, but right next booth over is your significant other from Chuck, Ellie. Now, I don't think it really is true, but you guys travel together now? Is that like your guys' new thing?
Well, this is the first time we've, we have now done anything but Comic-Con. Comic-Con was like our mecca for Chuck. It was like that kept us going for 5 years. That's
it was kind of like the first show that kind of took over Comic-Con pretty much.
Yeah, when we launched there, everyone else went, oh, that's how you launch a show. Yeah, let's all go do that. And we had Hall H to ourselves every year, and it was amazing. So we've never really gone outside of that because that was something we did through Warner Brothers and NBC. And now that this has picked up such new life on Netflix, we decided, hey, let's get out and see some of these fans. And, you know, this is our first one that we came to together.
Wow.
So it's going so well, and we're enjoying it so much. We'll probably do a few more.
This is kind of like a historical moment then that you guys are out.
We picked
You're
Hartford.
starting the motion for everybody else to come out with you.
Yeah, well, just like just like we kind of built up Comic-Con, or I can't say we built it up, but we had a piece of
kind of launched
building it up.
Mythology almost.
Hopefully more shows like ours will be coming out to Hartford, so the fans.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, so fans can interact. You know.
So if people wanted to see you now, besides here at Comic-Con, are any projects coming up that you're working on, or anything coming out?
I just did a Halloween movie that'll be coming out. You know, I've been bouncing around on different things, so you never know where I'll pop up. It'll be like, oh, look, you know, a lot of people were telling me that their mom was watching the Hallmark Channel, and all of a sudden it's like, wait a second, that's Captain Awesome on there. And
yeah, my mom said that too.
Yeah, exactly.
She lives on the Hallmark Channel.
Or on Netflix, there's a movie I did called The Right Kind of Wrong with Ryan Quanten, where everybody would probably know from True Blood. And, you know, people just say, wait a second, there's Captain Awesome. And there's a nice little wink to the fans with Camp Awesome Times. So it was cool that they threw that in there. And so I'm I'm all over the place, you know.
So just keep up on your IMDb or your website or anything, and just
Twitter and IMDb. Just going to @Ryan McPartland on Twitter, or I usually let people know when something's coming out a day or two before or the day of. But it's that's how I pretty much interact mostly.
Wow, very cool. So yes, his name is Ryan, by the way. I know I didn't call him at the beginning. I'm sorry. I know you as awesome. I'm pretty sure. Do you just answer that to that now? Is that kind of like the?
Every time I hear the word awesome, I kind of turn and be like,
sorry, you're talking about something else. Not me. Oh, okay. Sorry. Really as long as your mom doesn't, or any of your relatives don't start calling you awesome, and then.
It's funny because you see all the clothing that has been sold at, Kohl's. I saw Captain Awesome T-shirts. So you see little babies and Baby Awesome things, and I was like, I really should have tried to copy.
I know. You can start calling your agent and be like, we gotta get in on that somehow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time.
Really appreciate it, man.
You guys are really busy, but thank you for stopping by and letting us talk to you. We'll be back with more here in the Big B&M Big Podcast in just a bit.
Here for the B&M Big Podcast with Sam Levine of Freaks and Geeks fame, and I'm very excited to be here, and I'm very honored to be interviewing you.
Treat for me, Brian, let me tell you.
Yeah, I know. Your character was awesome. That show meant a lot to a lot of people. If you could go back, is there a talk of reunion maybe? There's reunions for everything, and
we've done our versions of reunions. I mean, we all just gathered for the TV Land Awards a month and a half ago. That aired. It was a lovely thing. You should have seen it. If not, you missed it. Catch it in a rerun. I don't know. We did a reunion photo piece for Vanity Fair back in 2012.
Nice.
We've done a couple of reunion panels for the Paley Festival over the years. So, I mean, that's the closest you're ever really going to get. We're never going to do like a scripted filmed reunion special. Just because we love the show so much. We love how it felt, how it meant when we shot it. We're never going to be able to recapture that, and we all know that. And so there's no pressure on our end to actually do that.
And I have to say thank you for that, because I think a lot of people with Netflix now, it's like Full House or something, and all of a sudden it's coming back, but it'll never be the same.
No, it will never be the same. And also, unlike some of those other shows, which I'm not naming, the bulk of our cast, me notwithstanding, they don't really need the money. They're doing just fine on their own.
That's true. Yeah, James and all those guys are like making movies, like 3 movies a year. You see those guys.
At least, yeah. They're all clearing 5-6 mil a picture, so they don't need the Freaks and Geeks money.
And what's going on with you? Like, what's project-wise? Anything people keeping their eye out for you?
Absolutely. I want you guys to keep an eye out at the end of July. Wet Hot American Summer, first day of camp on Netflix.
You're going to be in that?
The Sweet Pipes of Artie, the camp DJ.
Oh my God! I totally forgot about that.
That's right. I am coming back.
Give us a little taste of Artie.
I'm afraid I'm unallowed to. I wish I could. But greetings, Camp Firewood. That's the best you're gonna get.
Okay.
That's the best you're gonna get.
All right.
So check that out, and then later in the fall, check out Drunk History on Comedy Central, the new season. We're doing that, and then next season of Children's Hospital, and then a couple of independent movies that I shot that are awesome, but I don't know when those are ever going to see the light of day.
Dude, that's all awesome stuff. All stuff I watch religiously. And Wet Hot American Summer, that movie was so great, and when I heard about the series, that's one of those things that I was like, I am 100% on board.
Yeah.
And I saw the trailer, and it was like half of Hollywood is in it.
Oh yeah. For some reason they invited me to participate again. I don't know why. With that pedigree.
Yeah, that stuff, your stuff was so classic. It was great. I loved it. But I appreciate the time.
My pleasure, Brian.
Thank you. And we'll keep out looking for his stuff online and on Netflix. Thank you guys. We'll be back after this. We're here, B&M Big Podcast, and we have Tom, Bruce, Dean.
Yeah.
Yay. Hey, I got it all. I got it right. There you go. I'm super excited to have you guys here. I grew up as a teenager watching the X-Files, loving the X-Files, and it was something I watched with my dad and my grandfather was just always watching it. And then you guys came on, and it was cool because it was like a different part of the show. It was that layer of show I think a lot of people enjoyed, and then when you guys got your own spin-off,
right?
And
they stopped enjoying it.
No, was it too much of a good thing?
Yeah, it was all the frosting, no cake.
But, okay, so I got older, I had a job, I didn't watch TV as much, and I was talking to my friend who's another X-Files fan, and he says to me, he goes, they died. And I was just like, what? I know. And he goes, yeah. Now, we were discussing the last episode of the X-Files when you guys show up with Dave Duchovny in the when he's going pee, and you guys show up.
Yeah.
Now, are you guys really his figment of imagination, or do you think you guys really were there?
Well, you haven't read season 10, IDW's X-Files comic book.
I bought the last issue.
Did you hear?
No, I bought the last issue of the season, and I'm reading it from. I haven't read it. I just wanted to buy them all, then I will read them all at once because I read them so quickly that I'm dying for the next one.
Right. Okay, so you're binge reading comic books.
I binge read them. Yeah. So there's my answer in that series.
Okay. Yeah, and that's official canon.
Now, that's my other question, if that's official canon.
In that series, though, the way we teleport out of the desert, we must have been figments of his imagination, even if we weren't in fact dead.
Well,
because otherwise, what is it, like, we have a Jeep hidden behind the rock or something like that?
Yeah, you guys should.
Mulder's peeing, quick, let's pull his trick on him.
No, if we're buried under the Arlington Cemetery, spoiler, by the way, then therefore we have a whole labyrinth of underground tunnels.
All the way to the California desert?
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
See, that's not hard.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, so that's all there. With the maglev train, I bet. That's how we get around really fast.
Without ruining it, you guys are back in season 10.
We're back. We're alive.
Now, I heard at the, I picked it up and I'm like, finally, I can binge read that. This is going to be the end because the series is coming back on. But I went to the last page and it says August series, season 11. So I'm like, so are they going to make this go into the show?
Yeah, well, that's what Joe Harris, the writer of the comic book, has to struggle with. So IDW's put it on hold because they're not being told what these 6 episodes are.
Oh.
So the 6 episodes have to be completed and ready to air before they're going to tell IDW what the deal is. And then from there, IDW then has to figure out how they're going to do season 11 of the comic book.
Oh my God.
They won't get that information until after the episodes air because of the sort of secrecy that's always around the making of the X-Files. Always has been.
They don't air till
They don't air until January 2016. So then IDW's next comic book after that will probably be as fast as they can write and ink it.
Oh my God. So this can get really confusing. As much as the show got confusing near the end.
Right. Think of Joe Harris's problem.
Wow. Exactly. So you guys think, are you guys going to be in the show? Any word?
We haven't heard a thing.
We've had this
secret?
Sort of very vague rumor that we might possibly. I think it's along the lines of, have we got an extra 3 minutes somewhere?
Yeah, we need to cut the pages. We can get the gunman to say something, and then we shorten the show by 2 minutes.
That would be cool, though. You guys just at the end of the 6th episode, cut to black, and then you got to wait till next January, maybe. And then you guys are there.
That would be it. The cliffhanger.
The cliffhanger.
Hey, Mulder.
Exactly.
Donk on this door.
Hello.
He's taking another pee, and he's in the bathroom, and you guys.
Every time you pee, we're here.
Cut the black.
Cut the black. Not again.
Not again.
So what are you guys up to now? I saw you were telling us before we started the interview. You're painting. You have a comic.
I got a comic.
Yeah, come and promote it.
I don't think I should promote it because there's only 13 left. They'll probably go at this convention.
Oh.
So this is a rare collector's item of why The Lone Gunman was canceled. All true story of how our show came together, how it fell apart. Written by me, drawn by me, from my perspective. Here we are on set, and then all of us hanging out. There we are at a party, wondering what the hell's going on. Oh yeah. Oh, we're looking at other costumes. Tom takes pictures of all the costumes. Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Chat with her yesterday. She's great.
Oh yeah.
She's good on that.
And the oil painting
Got other
too.
stuff. Yeah, he's got oil paintings and whatnot. You can buy it off his website, yeah?
You buy, yes, once I get it working. This is the allegory of the lone gunman, taken from a 1609 German painting, which was called the allegory of the birth of Friedrich Hans Westberger or something.
Wow.
And then I took out key elements and put in our faces and computer parts.
That is so awesome.
So the original is a 10-foot canvas by 4.5 feet.
Now, where's that hanging?
In a collector's house at the moment.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
He really wanted it.
Yeah, I don't blame them.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my
Maybe
God.
you'll get a copy of this to put next to it.
What, the print? Here's the tiny print of that glorious 10-foot canvas.
That is awesome. And what are you guys up to?
Well, I'm still acting up in Vancouver. I've got something. I'm not going to explain. I've got an acting job when I get back next week. So yeah.
Nice.
And I'm retired. So.
Yeah.
He's got a cabin up in the
So
Rocky
he's
Mountains.
actually the busy one.
Yeah. Wow. That's great.
Got too much to do.
Yeah.
I got grandkids.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a full-time job right there.
I'm good.
Nice. Well, I thank you, gentlemen.
Well,
I
thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Pleasure.
It has been awesome,
Nice to talk.
and you made this little boy very happy.
And you listen to B&M podcast?
B&M Bake Podcast.
Big podcast. Like
Brian, Mark,
Oh, I get it.
and
I
kind
get
of
it.
like the baked beans.
I get
Yeah, yeah. We want baked beans route, and then people are like, "Is it about farting? What's it about?"
A podcast about farting.
Farting.
Okay, I believe it.
Yeah, it could be. It could be.
An hour long?
Yeah, an hour long fart. But no, thank you very much, guys, for
Thank
being on
you.
the show.
What do you want to do? Much taller than me. Oh man. So I'm a huge fan of Chuck.
And where are you from?
Being a Big Podcast is the name of our show.
All right, cool.
He's Brian, I'm Mark. So
All right,
we were very
sounds good.
inventive with the names. Took a whole 5 minutes to think of it.
Love it.
I'm not going to emphasize it.
Exactly. Somehow that's both cool and sad at the same time.
So Tom, I'm gonna make sure I say all names. Tom,
I'm Braidwood.
Bruce,
Dean.
Dean. Okay. So Tom, Dean, Bruce.
Rohickey, Byers, Langley.
Tom
Yep.
Bruce Dean.
Yeah.
Tom, Bruce, Dean.
Yeah.
Okay. Brian.
Ryan.
Oh, I'm Brian. All right.
Hello, boys and girls. This is your old friend Bill inviting you to B&M Baked Podcast.